Hello students, once again I welcome you to today's session of physical and health related activities. As we have seen from past 3 days that we have concentrated on some physical movements and we have done different activities each and every day. So today we will do something different. We will learn something. Till now from past 3 days what we have done is we have done something. Today we will learn something. So in coming days we will learn about each and every sport which helps you to play whenever you enter onto the ground. So what we will do is today we will start with badminton. As all of you know that after cricket, badminton is the next popular game in India. The kind of rise it has been in recent years is impeccable. So a number of international players from India have brought many laurels to our nation. So today we'll be focusing on badminton. So most of you guys have played badminton, I guess. So, but most of them have played casually. Even though some of you who have played serious badminton may not know the whole knowledge about the badminton. So what we will do is today we will know each and every aspect of the badminton. You need to know as a player. If you are if you try to play badminton during these 4 years. So what we'll do is I'm about to give you a presentation, go through it, each and every aspect I'll be explaining you in detail way. So let us go get into the presentation. So today, from to the coming days, we are doing a different kind of activity sessions. These are not practical activity sessions. These are learning activity sessions regarding the sports and games. The kind of facilities we have in our college, we are concentrating on those facilities and we are making sure that you have enough knowledge just before you come to the campus and you start playing the sport, so which will help you to learn the game very quickly. So today we will start it with badminton. See, once again I welcome you all for today's induction program activity, which is related to a learning session regarding one of the game, which is badminton. So we are about to see basic rules and regulations of badminton, which are framed by International Badminton Association, or uh, it is also known as the Badminton World Federations, under which the whole international tournaments are getting organized. So as you know that every game, as you most of you guys do see cricket, for starting a game we need a toss. Just like in cricket, the captains of the teams, they choose to bat or ball. In similar way in badminton, tossing for a serve or choosing a side of the court is necessary. So the official will make for a toss, bringing the two opponents towards the net, and he will be tossing. And the one who wins the toss, he can have the option of choosing either to serve or either to choose the side of the court. So rules of so. Uh, each and every game we need to know what the kind of equipment we are using it. So in badminton most of them they get confused, I guess. There are two kinds of badminton terminologies that are circulating in and around in our regions, which is like shuttle badminton and ball badminton. Ball badminton, which is not so much played by the people in our regions, but still the word has been circulated very much. So there is a little bit of confusion in the term badminton. The moment you say badminton, people will ask whether it is a ball badminton or shuttle badminton. So the basic badminton is like shuttle badminton. The one which you are seeing on the screen, is called as shuttle. Most of them will pronounce it as shuttlecock. It is also okay, but it is called as shuttle. So the shuttlecock is made up of feathers. These feathers are taken from the bird goose. So you can see that it is a semi-spherical cork. About 14 to 16 goose feathers are stabbed onto it. The feathers are 6 centimeters long. As you can see that these measurements, these scientific terminologies are just like they are made up. One needs to know, but the basic thing you need to know is the official badminton game is played with feathercock. So most of them, I think you also play with that green kind of shuttle which is made up of nylon. It's just because of it offers you the durability. The nylon shuttles offers you just the durability, but the actual badminton official game is played with the feather shuttles. The shuttle, the main important equipment you need to have in your to play the game is the racket. It is made up of carbon fiber. Nowadays, the rackets have been much more lighter in weight, so you can see that it's one second, wait a second. Okay, little technical issue. So once again, we will go through the presentation. You can hear my voice, but you can't see my presentation. So now you can see that the presentation is on. So, so tossing a serve. As you can read on the screen, before a match begins, opponents toss a coin to determine whether one should serve or side. So the next one is the shuttlecock. As I have said earlier, it is made up of goose feathers. This kind of shuttle is the official shuttle. The feather shuttle is the official shuttle which will be used for the international tournaments. It is the official shuttle. It is the official equipment which is used to play the badminton game. So most of them, we use these nylon feather shuttles which are in green color or which is made up of plastic, which offers the durability just for the practice. So what we'll do is, give me a second. Okay. Yeah, you can listen to me now. So tossing for the serve, we heard you. Tossing of a serve, which makes player to decide server side. Next one is the shuttlecock, which is made up of goose, goose feathers, which is the official equipment where we have to play the game officially with this kind of feather shuttles only. The ones nylon shuttles which we use are like the durability ones. Just they are there just because for the to practice. So the next one is the racket. As you can see, the racket is made up of carbon fiber. And nowadays, they are made up of carbon graphite to make the racket weight very lighter in way. So you can see that in this peak, the racket peak, the racket consists of a different kind of technologies. As you can see, there is a head of a racket. There is the shaft that is connecting the handle and the head, and one more thing is the handle. So, so you are having this racket. Rackets can be offered in a different shapes also. The one which you are seeing on the screen is oval shape. The other one is the isometric shape. So most of the players they pick the racket shapes according to their comfort level. So now you can see the backhand grip. There are two kinds of grips in playing the badminton. One is the forehand grip, the one which you are seeing here in this pic. In the right side peak, you can see that you are seeing the forehand grip, and the way you are holding the handle of the racket is like you are giving a shake hand. The if you observe your hand, if you take your hand to your forwards and you are giving a shake hand, it is and you hold something. If you are trying to give the shake hand to something, shake hand to someone, and if you are holding some object in your hand, it is the kind of grip which is known as forehand grip for the forehand strokes. So backhand grip, as you can see that you are holding the handle of the racket with your thumb. You are holding the whole handle of the racket with your hand, and you are taking the grip of the handle with your thumb. So the next one is the details regarding the court. You can see that the height of the net is 5 feet height, which comes across towards the both sidelines. The similar height is maintained between the two poles. So the height of the net is 5 feet. So as you can see that there are five different kind of badminton game modes, which is like singles and doubles. In singles, you have men's singles. For the women's sections, you are having women's singles, and for the same men's and women's category, you are having men's doubles as well as women's doubles. And also the other category would be named as mixed doubles, in which a team consists of one man and one woman. So there are like five different categories of badminton gameplay. So the scoring, as you can, as you know that most of them know. For those who don't, let me explain. The scoring system of badminton stays as there is a best of three sets. Each set is played of 21 points. The one who reaches first 21 points would be decided as the set winner. So the one team or a player who plays singles who wins the best of two sets in a three-set match, he wins the game. So there is a crucial point regarding the third set. What happens with the what happens with the set? Give me a second. What happens with in a set when the two players or two opponent doubles teams, when they equal score time and again, if they are getting 19-19, 20-20, a set is only completed if there is a difference of 2 points between each players or each doubles teams. So for a matter of fact, 21-19, there is a difference of 2 points. So the set is won by one of the opponent. So 21 is the final point of a set. If the players are getting equal number of points even after the 21 points, like 21 all, 22 all, though the set is extended to further number of points till 30. So 30 points would be the final number of points for a set to be won by a player or won by a doubles team. So 30, the one who reaches first 30 points will be winning the set. So till 30 they can manage the score, equaling like 26 all, 27 all, 28 all, 29 all. So 30 points would be the final winning score of a set if they equal their score till 30 points. So the first 30 would be winning the set. So this happens with the same set. The one who wins the best of three sets, like if he wins two sets continuously, then he is winning the game. So how a scoring is done in badminton game? So the rally point system is used in scoring the badminton game, which means any fault committed by the serving or receiving team gains point. It means as simple as that. The moment the a player is has serviced the shuttle, if it, the if the shuttle is exchanged between the two opponents, if any one of the opponent is committing a foul, then his opponent will be awarded a point. So in a similar way, each and every point is scored. La- Later on in this presentation, what we'll do is we will see the kind of faults that appears in a badminton game. So types of scoring, there are some technical terminologies which we use while playing badminton. Love, as you can see in racket games, the scoring starts from love on. Whether it is in badminton or else whether it is in table tennis or whether it is in each and every racket game like tennis, table tennis, badminton, all these racket games, the scoring starts from love all. So love all means the both of the opponents are on zero. Love means zero. The scientific terminology they have given to this scoring system is love, which is like zero. Love all means both of the opponents are on the same score like zero. What is inside is called for the serving player or team. What is inside is called for the serving player or team. Outside is called for the receiving player of the team. So what most of players while playing this badminton game, if they hit the shuttle which lands on the line, which is lands inside of the marking of a badminton court, then it is called as inside, and the point is awarded if the opponent is not able to receive the shuttle properly and it lands on the floor before hitting the racket of your opponent. Outside is like if you are hitting the shuttle outside of the court, then the point is awarded to your opponent. So game point is point that the server won, which results to the serving winning the match. Obviously, it is a basic thing that the game point at the time of the game point, server, the player who is serving for the match will be on the game point, and if he able to pick up the point, then he will be winning the game. So nowadays the badminton sets are played for 21 points, but way too long. The all double games as well as men's singles are played for 15 points. A women's single game ends at 11 points. But later on, they changed the scoring system for 21 points. This 21 points scoring system started in the Thomas Huber Cup 2006. So a match, as we have discussed earlier, a match consists of best of three sets. The side that first scores 21 points shall win. So you can see that in detail, which I have mentioned verbally. You can see it here. You can read it here. If a score becomes 20 all, the side which scores two consecutive points shall win that game. So eventually, this means that between those two opponents, there is a difference of 2 points. So if the score becomes 29 all, till 30th point, if the both of the opponents are scoring equal number of points one by one, alternatively, and if the score reaches 29 all, the side that scores the 30th point shall win the game. So 30th should be the ultimate point for that set, for a player to win that set. So the side winning a game serves first in the next game. So this is one of the technical point you need to you need to concentrate on. The side winning a game serves first in the next game. So as we have discussed, the moment the toss is win by a player, whether if he chooses to serve, though the so he will be starting the game with the serve. So if the same player is winning the first set, so he will be serving in the next game also. So when one side reaches 11 points, both players get a 60 seconds break. This is called as interval, or else you can call it as a set break. So after reaching 11 points, each player will be given a 60 seconds break. So one more interval comes when a set is completed. Both sides get a 2 minute break between first and second games, and another 2 minute break between second and third game. What a game! What game represents here is set. If a player or a doubles team wins a set, he will be getting a 2 minutes break between first and second set. In within a set, he will be getting a 60 seconds break if the one of the player or one of the doubles team reaches 11 points. So the other rules shall remain the same. So let us come into the critical point of views regarding the gameplay. So most of them, they play badminton very casually. Okay, they are making the schedule to go towards the opponent court. They are playing rallies. They are hitting the smashes. They are doing every sorts of gameplay. But they should know that whether they are doing it properly or not. So what we are seeing here is we are seeing the service rotation in singles. So point number one: when a player serves, the racket must be below their waist and the racket head below their hand. The server must also have both feet stationary and firmly planted on the ground. So what it implies is when you are serving a racket, so you are holding a racket and you are with one hand you are holding the racket, and with the other hand you are holding the shuttle. While doing the serve, make sure that the racket is intact with your waistline. So you need to observe yourself that you are placing the racket while doing a serve is intact with the waistline. And one more thing is that the server needs to have his both feet very stationary and firmly planted on the ground. And one more thing is that the racket head, which we have seen earlier in the equipment presentation, the racket head, which is like oval shape or isometric shape, that should be placed below their hand. So it should not be lifted. So make sure that it is below the 180 degrees angle. So it should be angling down below your hand. Unless or until if you do follow these proper observations, your service will be called fouled by the chair umpire, which who sits beside the net. So in singles play, the second point we can observe that in singles play the player shall stand diagonally from each other in opposite service courts, and you may not touch any part of the boundary lines with your feet. So see another point to be remembered that in singles or doubles, the one who is serving, he needs to serve diagonally. See, let us see like this. See in this presentation, you can see that the arrow marks are showing that the service is being made diagonally. So if you are choosing A and D as one of the team, C and B as the other of the team, if A starts serving, he should start serving to the B diagonally. So that is the way a service need to be done. If you are considering singles, you ignore C and D. A and B would be the players in a single smash, and A would be servicing the schedule to the B. So if A wins a point, he will automatically change his position to the other side of the court. He comes into the D position. From D, he will be serving to the C position where B comes. So it may look a little bit confused while explaining this diagrammatic representation. You can listen and you can understand if you concentrate very well. So in singles play, the player that wins the first game shall serve first in the second one, as we have discussed earlier. So here are some of the other crucial points. These are like a theoretical explanation. So these can be explained with the diagrammatic representation, which would be much more easier. So let me read out some of the points so you can understand while you are reading. Player A from team 1 serves from the right side of the court. See, every game starts from love wall. Each of the player is on the 0 points. So the service starts from the right side of the court. So the court is divided into two halves for singles as well as doubles. So the service always starts from right side. If you are getting points and you are on even number of points, you should remember that for a singles game you are servicing from the right side of the court. So if you are getting points time and again, and if you are on the odd number of points like 1, 3, 5, so you will be serving from the left side of the court. For singles, it is as simple as that. If you are gaining the points while doing the serve, if you are having even number of points, you are doing it from the right side of the court. If you are getting points and if your point system is on the odd number of section, so you will be servicing from the left side of the court. So that's what we have mentioned in this presentation. So this is for a singles, it is as simple as that. You will be doing the service diagonally, and if you are in even number of points, so you will do it from right side. If you are from odd number of points, you will do it from the left side of the court. So once again we will go through this. If team 1 wins the rally, he or she shall continue to serve, this time from the left hand side of the court across diagonally. So the game starts from 0. If he wins, his point system would be 1. So 1 is like odd number, so he shifts his side to the left hand side of the court. So he services from left side of the court because of his odd number of points. So that is a simple point to be remembered. Once you start playing, it automatically registers in your mind. You'll change your positions automatically. So next one is player A continues to serve alternating sides until he or she loses the point. At this time, team 2 gets to serve. Whoever is on the right side of the court, when team 2 wins, the rally shall serve first. So eventually again if another point is won by the team, he will be on an even number of points. So again he will be serving from the right side of the court. See, all these points are like representation of how you do the serve, whether in singles or whether in doubles. So once again we have come into the pictorial representation. As you can see, picture number 1. If a doubles game is starting, singles, as we have discussed, it's very simple. The single player changes the sides. Once he starts getting the point, the opponent also moves according to him diagonally, and he shifts his place towards left side and right side of the single court. So in badminton doubles, as you can see that if we consider A and D as one team, C and B as their opponents. So if A is starting the game and he is doing the servicing, and he is doing the servicing to B, let us think that A has won the point. So what he will do is he will change his side. He will go uh, to his left side of the court, and D will come to the right side of the court, and C and B positions would be remaining the same. Once again, I am repeating the order. A and D would be a team, and C and B would be their opponents. If A are starting the servicing, and they have received a point, so A and D will be shifting their positions. They will be flipping their positions. But C and B, their opponents would be remaining in the same place. In a similar way, the third peak you can see that for the very next game, D and A, D and A have exchanged their position. So what happens? The B is servicing the game. So what happens is D and A will be the receivers, will be in the receivers way. So they won't be changing their position. B and C, who are servicing the game, they have won the point, and they will be flipping their positions. It's very simple. You should remember in a doubles game that the one who is servicing, the one team which is servicing the shuttle, if they are winning the point, they will be flipping their sides. The opponents will be remaining in the same sides. If the opponent is winning the service, based on the point system, odd number or even number of point system, the service will be given to that side of the player. So the time you revise these points, try to play it very practically. You can understand it easily, and you can the technical terms and techniques and the kind of changing your sides will be getting registered in your mind. So we will see what kind of faults are generated in while playing a badminton game. A team that violates the rules is charged with a foul. See, these are like there are number of faults which are like they won't be observed in a official game, because everybody plays according to the rules and regulations. Everybody knows what sorts of faults would be raised if they won't make it properly. So let us focus on the faults. A team that violates the rules is charged with the fault. These are like technical faults. There are so many faults. Let us not get into that. Let us get into the gameplay faults. So it is, so for the second point, if we see the second point, it is a fault, loss of service, handout for serving or loss of the point for the receiving point. Fault is like it's a this type of fall is occurred during a rally when your opponent is not able to return the shuttle properly to your side, then it is called as a foul. Service is illegal. So previously we have discussed how to hold your racket in line of your waistline. So it should be aligned to your waistline, unless or until if you are making it in a proper way, it would be called as illegal serve, and the point will be awarded to your opponent. If the server in attempt to serve misses the shuttle, this also comes under the gameplay. If the server is attempting a service of the shuttle, and if he is missing the shuttle, and he has the whole motion of doing a serve, if he is missing the shuttle, then the point is awarded to the opponents. So the next one, if on a serve the shuttle is caught or on the net, either before or passing or after passing over the net. So let us think that if one of the player is hitting the shuttle and the shuttle has got stuck on the net, so who will be awarded the point? So it's a basic thing that whenever you are playing a shuttle during a rally, if you are hitting a shuttle, the shuttle should pass the net and it should go over the net and over the net. So if it is stuck on the net, the point is awarded to the opponent. The one who has hit the shuttle and the shuttle has got stuck on the net, he will lose the point. So the next one is simple one. If in play the shuttle lands outside the boundaries of the court, passes through under the net, touches the roof, touches a player or a dress layer, touches any object or person outside the immediate surroundings of the court, is caught and held on the racket during a stroke. All these all these points make us a legitimate foul. So if a player does if any one of these points happens during the game, then it is called fault by the official. So let us get into the next point. If the initial point of the contact with the shuttle is not on the striker side of the net. Next one. If the shuttle is in play, a player touches the net or its support with racket or body, except on follow through. So what it means is that the very second point. If the shuttle is nearer, your opponent has hit the shuttle, and you have taken the advantage to take the shuttle way towards the net, and if you are hitting the shuttle while during the point of contact, if you're touching the net section or the supports given for the net, if you're touching them with your body or the racket, then it is called as fault. And one more technical point in this play is, if you're touching the shuttle after the shuttle has hit the floor, then it is not called a fault, because the moment the shuttle has landed on the floor, you have taken the advantage of the height of the shuttle and you are hit it, and you have touched the foot, touch the net or the supporting things that are supporting the net. If the shuttle has landed on the floor, then you are touching, then it is not a called fault, because the moment shuttle touches the floor, the point is dead. The point is awarded to you. Okay. So now the next one, if a player is guilty of flagrant or repeated misconduct violations, such as deliberately causing a suspension of play, interfering with the speed of the schedule, or behaving in an offensive way, what this point explains is that if a player is conducting if a player is maintaining a misconduct of violations, that is like sportsman spirit, showing anger towards his opponents, showing anger towards the officials, throwing the racket, behaving in a improper way. All these comes under violations. So one other such point is that deliberately causing a suspension of play. What this means is some of the players, what they do is they take extra bit of time. Even if the opponent is ready, one of the players takes extra bit of time to regenerate himself. That is not allowed in a badminton game. So the official makes the player to come to him, and he wants for the very first time. If he tries to repeat it, it gets under violation. Then he might face some penalty points, which will be awarded to his opponents. The other thing is that interfering with the speed of the shuttle. See, no such kind of tampering is allowed with the shuttle while during the gameplay. Some of the players they bend the shuttle towards outside of the shuttlecock. So what I'm saying is the some of the players they might be having some tampering with the shuttles by bending the feathers outside so that the speed of the shuttles might get slow. So if a official observes, if your opponent observes, so that would be coming under the violation. So he or she may be awarded with some penalty points which will be awarded to their opponents. So what is a leg? So later, this is again one of the technical term in badminton game. When let occurs, players who serves again. So once again, I am repeating it. When lets occur, players who serves again. It means that the game will be started from the previous point. When will be let occurred in a game? Let us see it. A shuttle or player from an adjacent court encroaches, thus interfering with play or concentration. See, suddenly during a rally of the game, if someone is approaching towards the court and distracting the players, then the official may call the point as a let, and again the game is start from the previous point. The next one, a shuttle after passing over the net becomes caught in or on the net, except during service. So once again, we are seeing that a shuttle after passing over the net becomes caught in or on the net, except during the service, during a rally. So the next one, a shuttle hits an obstruction that hangs over the court and is lower than the recommended 24-foot ceiling height. So what we are seeing is that some of the shuttles they been hit so high that it's a part of a gameplay. The moment they play those sort of shots, if the shuttle hits some kind of things which are hanging over the rooftop, which are below 24 feet ceiling height, they may be called as led by the official, and the game is played from the previous point. The server serves before the receiver is ready. So this one you should keep in mind. One of the once again a technical aspect. Whenever a server is ready, he or she should take care that his receiver is ready. Unless or until the receiver or his opponent is not ready, he can't able to serve. So once the moment that your opponent or the receiver is ready, you can start doing the serve. The last one is regarding this point is related to the official. A line judge is unsighted and the umpire is unable to make decisions. Sometimes the players hit the shuttle so hardly that the speed of the shuttle is so high. So if a player comes in between the landing of the shuttle and the official, maybe the official cannot see the land of the shuttle, whether hits the line or whether it is outside of the court. Then the official will call for the let, and again the game will be played from the previous point. So you can see here again we are coming into some technical terminologies of badminton. See the court regulations, the court, the shuttlecock, racket and grip, the net, game modes, scoring system. All we have seen previously. So basic position and footwork only we can say it theoretically. You can understand it better whenever you guys come to our college and we see that the game is played practically. So there are some different kind of strokes in badminton. So most of them they just hit the heart. They need to know what kind of stroke they are hitting, because every kind of stroke places you in a different kind of situation in a badminton game. What it does is one kind of a stroke may be a offensive stroke, one kind of a stroke may be a defensive stroke. You need to know what kind of stroke is putting you in what kind of gameplay. So there are three kinds of strokes in badminton. So one of them is overhead strokes. Overhead strokes are like clear, which can be named as defensive as well as offensive clear. We can know it during a gameplay. Clear stroke is that the upcoming presentation will be having, you will be having a clear idea what is a clear stroke, what is a drop one, what about these, all about these strokes. So overhead strokes, that means that you are hitting the shuttle above your head with your racket. Before it is coming down shuttle, you are taking the advantage of the height. You are guessing the shuttle height and you are hitting the shuttle above your head. So all these strokes are called as overhead strokes: the clear stroke, the drop stroke, and as well as this smash stroke. The drop one is called as offensive, based on the kind of gameplay that is happening within the game. The smash is one and only in one directional way, that is offensive way. So clear can be defensive as well as offensive. So you can make it you can make the drop as well as defensive as well as offensive. So the next one is medium strokes. These medium strokes are placed with a decent speed. Like you are driving the shuttle, you are hitting the shuttle in a very average kind of speed according to the gameplay, according to the position of your opponents. So the other stroke is underarm stroke, which is like lob and net shot. Lob is like underarm clear. So in the overhead stroke, the very first stroke we have seen that it is a clear one. Means we are clearing the shuttle from one side of the court to the other side of the court. In a similar way, underarm stroke uh, is played with your underarm position, and the shuttle is thrown into the other side of court in a clear way. So once again, the underarm stroke, one more stroke which comes under underarm stroke is the net shot. The moment the shuttle is dropped below the tape of the net, from the height of the net, if it is getting dropped, the only kind of stroke you can repeat is either the lob or the net shots. So have just read the kind of strokes we had in the badminton gameplay. Now we are seeing the actual pictorial representation so that you can observe it in a better way. So overhead stroke, when the shuttle is hit over your head, just I have said earlier, if the shuttlecock is hit over your head during a gameplay, then it is called as overhead stroke. Overhead stroke has different variations. The one which in the picture you can see that from left side, if a player is there, if he is hitting the shuttle, the trajectory of the shuttle, you can see that it is getting passed over the net and it is landing towards the end of the other court. So it can be mostly it is considered as a defensive stroke, so that the one who is playing the overhead stroke and he is clearing the shuttle towards the end of the opponent court, it gives him enough chance to get into his position. So overhead stroke in which he is clearing the shuttle comes under the defensive category. So clear, let us read out this. Clear, it is a basic stroke. It consists of sending the shuttle from rear of the court to the rear of the other court. Rear is the kind of term which is, you can call it as the end of the other court. So with a strong hit, you need a more energy levels. You need to hit the shuttle very strongly. Unless or until you hit the shuttle very strong, it won't be able to reach the other side of the court. So the moment you are moving the shuttle to the other end of the court, so you can get into your position very quickly. The racket is in angled upward, giving the shuttle a long and high trajectory. So you can see in the picture, overhead stroke is giving the shuttlecock a very high trajectory, and it is placed in that way that it is landing at the end of the court, in the rear side of your opponent's court. One more head stroke. So what we are doing is, what you are seeing is, with in the same place, you are the same player is hitting the shuttle overhead, and he is making the shuttle to drop nearby the net. See, drop is an attacking stroke. The player suddenly slow down the speed or impact of the shuttlecock, hitting the shuttlecock softly by using his wrist movement, making it land next to the net. As I have said, I have explained to you, drop shot is like hitting the shuttle very near to the net. So for this kind of shot, you may not need more force. You can hit the shuttlecock very gently so that it lands towards the net of the court. This can be considered as a offensive shot as well as a tactical shot, because the moment you are disguising the shuttle, you are putting less space on the shuttle, your opponent needs to change his stroke, he needs to lift the shuttle. So this can be considered as a offensive stroke with a minimal use of power. So overhead stroke, as we have seen the previous one, this one, the overhead stroke. The overhead stroke needs a lot power to clear the shuttle to the other side of the court, whereas the drop shot from the overhead positions require less power, and it can be placed very tactically at the court. So one more overhead stroke. This is completely comes under the aggressive category, which can be named as offensive play. So smash is an attacking stroke. In the shot, shuttlecock is hit very hard, as much as you can. If a player has enough ability to hit the shuttle as much as he can, then it will be termed as a smash. So smash results in a winner or makes your opponents to get into a defensive position, or else it gives you an advantage to the very next shot your opponent is retaining the shuttle. So there are three aspects of these smashes. One is whether it can be a winner, or it can put your the opponents in a defensive position, or for the very next play it makes you place in a very comfortable and advantage position. So medium strokes, we have covered the overhead strokes. Now we are coming into the medium stroke. When the shuttlecock is hit between your shoulder and the knee height, drive is an attacking stroke. In this stroke, the shuttlecock is hit hard. See, in drive position, as we have mentioned in this presentation, it is hit hard. It can be varied during the gameplay, whether you can hit it very hard, you can hit it with a medium pace. Drive is like you are hitting the shuttle between your shoulder height and your knee height. The moment you are going down, it will come under underarm stroke. The moment you go upwards of your shoulder and hitting a shuttle, it comes under overhead stroke. So medium strokes, the position of the shuttle and hitting of the shuttle remains between the shoulder and your knee. So you can see the trajectory of the shuttle. It is like in a parallel way, parallel to the floor, you are hitting the shuttle. These drives are like very fast. You need to have super reflexes. Drives make you improve your reflexes. So if I need to say, the doubles game, whether it is men's or doubles or women's doubles or mixed doubles, drives plays a very key part, because it tests your opponent's reflexes. So underarm strokes, there are two types of underarm strokes. One is lob, as you have discussed earlier, and the other one is the net shot. So as you can see that lob is a defensive stroke. The shuttlecock is hit next to the net. The aim is to lift the lob shuttle over your opponent and try to make it land as close to the baseline. See, lob is like a lifting the shuttle into your opponent court. See, the moment you are hitting a shuttle, lifting the shuttle to your opponent quarter, it may put your opponent in a very advantageous position and to play an aggressive shot. So what you will do is you will try to lock the shuttle, and it should travel as much as distant as it can, and it lands towards the baseline. I mean, your opponent's end line. It lands towards the end line of the court, so that he needs to make some extra effort to play an aggressive shot from that sort of position. The player's position is similar to the net shot position, but in this stroke, the shuttle is strongly hit and upwards. So the lob comes under the underarm stroke. You're lifting the shuttle as much. See, one more thing you need to remember is whenever you are lobbing a shuttle, or you are lifting a shuttle, try to lift as much as height you can. Place the shuttle as height as you can, and also at the same time make sure the shuttle is traveling a proper distance and landing towards it. It should not go outside of the court. It lands near to the rear line of the your opponent court. So one more thing is that underarm stroke, when the this is also called as net shot, when the shuttlecock is hit below your hips height. So net shot is also taken below your hips, and this can be termed uh, as a defensive shot, or well as the shot which keeps you in for the next position. it keeps you in an advantage position. If you're playing a doubles game, if your partner is able to make a net shot and the opponent is lobbing the shot, if he is lifting the shot, then this kind of net shot puts your team in a better position and in an advantage position from where you can play the shuttle very aggressively. So once again, all these points, we have presented you the pictorial representation. The moment you start playing it practically, you can understand easily what goes through the gameplay. So once again, we have seen the backhand grip. Once again, we are seeing the kind of grips. While doing the serve, you can do two kinds of serve. One is forehand serve and one is backhand serve. As we have discussed earlier, we have seen the both kind of serves. The way we are holding the handles, for the forehand we are using the shake hand kind of grip, and for the backhand service we are pinching the handle and we are holding the handle. So with those two kinds of grips, you need to remember that your racket head must be placed while contacting the point of contact your shuttle, and the racket should be placed under your waist or in the line of your waistline, and your racket head should not face upward directions. These are some technical points. You can only you can learn easily in the way of trial and error. The once you practice the shuttle or once you practice the strokes, you will find it easily understandable. But for time being, we are going through these presentation webinar sessions, so we will understand it in a theoretical way. So the last one, again, once again, you can see that we have given a pictorial representation in a overall view. You can see the in the left side of this presentation, you can see a player's hip position. You can consider that horizontal line as a hip line. So you can see that the whole racket head is below his waistline. So the he's taking a backhand grip. This kind of service is called as backhand service. It is generally nowadays most of the international players they use this kind of service, which is a very efficient way, so that you can do the service and the shuttle is very close to the top of the net and it lands on the other side of your opponent courts, so that the your opponent may have to play a very quality shot to make sure that you get into trouble. Unless or until he plays a quality shot, you will be in a advantage. So underarm service puts you in a sort of advantage position. So you can see that the racket head must be below the hand and the shuttle must be hit below the hip. See, once again you see in the left side of the picture, you can see that he's holding the handle of the racket in a while doing a backhand serve, and he's holding a backhand grip, and the head of the racket is placed below the hip line, as well as the point of contact is also below the hip line, maybe in the line of hip line. So the racket is striking the shuttle here. You can observe the pic. So once again, in the middle of the presentation, you can see that the service is made diagonally and the court measurements are given. Again, in the below, you can see the racket measurements and the official mentioning of the officials. There are you can see in the sideways you are having two service jets, one chair umpire, and to the each end of the court you are having three officials checking the lines, because the kind of speed with which the players hit the shuttle, it would be very difficult for a few officials to observe the shuttle whether it has landed on the line or not. So right side you can see shuttle is the uh, fastest traveling equipment in a sports playing equipment. So the shuttlecock travels near 212 miles per hour, whereas a tennis ball travels with a speed of 156 and a squash ball travels with a speed of 172. So you can consider that shuttle badminton is the fastest game played in the racket games. So, with this, today we are finishing our presentation. Hope you have learned much more things. So this would stream would be available for you guys later. The ones who have joined lately, they can start watching this presentation from the very first. So we have covered each and every aspect of the gameplay, right away from the equipment, right away from doing a serve, right away from technical terms of badminton gameplay and the kind of strokes you need to play. This kind of presentations not only gives you a heavy knowledge about the game. Also it helps you to observe your opponent's gameplay also. So with this, today we finished the badminton gameplay. Hopefully when you guys come to the college, we will try it with the practical sessions. I once again thank each and everyone for joining in this session. So thank you one and all. Thank you once again.